So hello, beautiful people. Welcome, guys, to my channel. I'm already so excited because we have an awesome guest in the house. If this is your first time, where have you been? Please click the subscribe button, and if you have been here before, thank you for coming. And so because this month we have said that we're going to be discussing anything marriage, and I got a couple of messages in my DM asking me questions like how to handle seasons of waiting in marriage. And so I had a discussion like this sometime back with my big sister here, and then it just dawned on me that, okay, why don't I just bring her up here, to come and bless us. And so today I have with me a very distinguished guest in the house. So she's going to be introducing herself briefly, and then we'll get right into it.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thanks for staying through. Thanks for always watching, and thanks for coming back over and over again. We really appreciate. Thanks. Okay, I'm Rosemary Ogunwale. I am from Kogi State, though. Okene, precisely, Ibira speaking. But I was born in Lagos. And my secondary school was in Lagos, while my institution was University of Abuja from 2004, 2005 to 2010.
Okay.
And I read public administration, BSc, and I got married in 2009.
2009.
Yes,
okay.
And
I think that's the juicy part.
Yes, I was supposed to finish my university at 2009, but there was this strike that lasted for 6 months. Okay. So eventually, we had to go back to school February 2010 to write my exams. And to the glory of God, God has been faithful. So like I said before, I had BSc Public Administration, but right now I'm a fashion designer, an interior decorator.
Yes.
And I do so many things, anything business. Anything business. Buying and selling interior, making of beautiful clothes, anything.
Okay, so we're into fashion designing. We're selling our market. You can see this beautiful outfit she's putting on. She made that. If you would actually need any of her services, you can reach out to me. She's like a big sister to me, and you can be rest assured that I would give you the contact. So let's just get right into why we're here today. We're just here to talk about how to manage seasons of waiting in marriage. So because I am obliging my request to every of your requests as per whatever you want us to talk about is what we talk about. This is a channel where we learn, unlearn, relearn, and basically just share our fears, share our wins, celebrate our wins, and all of that stuff, all of that good stuff. So we'll just delve right into the first question. The first question we have for her: 7 years. Wow. 7 whole years. Okay, like we know that people who are in this category of people waiting to conceive, they call them the TTCs, those trying to conceive. I know this because I have a couple of them as friends and all of that stuff. And we know that these people, they go through stages. Like the first stage usually is like the anticipation stage. We're all there. You're just newly married, and then you're anticipating, okay, I'll soon get pregnant. And then a few months down the line, nothing is happening. How was this for you? As in, can you just like carry us through just a little bit? How did you find that time of anticipating, and then to nothing happening, and then having to now start waiting? What was it like for you? So just tell us.
Okay, like I said, I got married precisely December 5th and 6th, 2009. And then immediately we got married, hopefully, because before you get married, sometimes you discuss some things, the things you want to marry, number of children. Some people can even go as far as saying that they want to wait.
Their children.
Some people even say they want to wait for like a year before they conceive.
Yes, there are some people that are in that WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Yes, and some will say they want to have fun. They want to know. They want to have time with their spouse before they start building family and start having.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
Definitely, it's our choice. You understand? And so, but in my own case, we never had such. We didn't wanted that. We wanted to dive into it, because even before then, if my husband had his way, I would have gotten married when I was in 200 level.
Okay.
But it was because my parents refused, and things didn't go as planned as that. You had to wait. So waiting till when I eventually finished was just the right time for us to just kickstart everything. So eventually we got married, and we were waiting. And the funny part was that actually after the first months of getting married, my period actually delayed, as in initially.
For no reason.
For no reason.
I've heard a couple of people give that kind of complaint. What would you attribute that to? Is it hormonal changes?
Sincerely, I can't even tell. And for me, since when I started menstruating, I've always had this 28 days.
Okay.
And I've never had any issues that had to do with me not seeing it when it's supposed to come, and having and needing any assistance of the doctor to be able to track whatever, you understand. So it's always been normal. Okay. It's usually 28 and 3 days, as in 3 days on, and after 3 days I'm fine, and the next 3 days flow, and the next 28 days. But immediately I got married, just after 1 month into the marriage, I just discovered that this thing wasn't forthcoming. And in my mind, as in your mind, in my mind, I was actually thinking, oh wow, this one is so sharp, as in now I'm already pregnant. You understand? And
oh my God,
immediately I discussed with my husband. I was like, see, I didn't see you. My husband was like,
I can't imagine.
And my husband was like, don't tell anybody, don't mention it to anybody, just the two of us now. So we were so happy, and we're just, so we're thinking that finally, at least, God being so kind,
our prayers.
God being so good, as in just now,
my days.
As in, but unfortunately, I think just 3 days after,
the period came,
and we were like, well, it's a good one anyway. We weren't expecting it to even happen that early, though we're not doing anything against it, but to the glory of God. And we actually thought, it will. But before you know it, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4th, 5th, 6th, and we actually got married into an environment where myself and my husband's family were all living very close around each other. Okay. You understand? Everybody is seeing, and people are actually watching your next move. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So we continued, and it got to a point, I think we're just about 1 year into the marriage, and my mother-in-law actually asked me. She came and she was like, are you sure the both of you are compatible?
Are you sure you are compatible?
I don't know. There's this Yoruba word that she used, and I was like, definitely we are. We are no longer kids, you understand? And before we got married, we are compatible. That was the reason why we got married. And she was like, she now moved to the next question, because that she's thinking that why is it that we have not. And I was like, don't worry, that one is a matter of time. It will definitely come. But for the compatibility, for me and him, we are perfect. We are very okay. And she said, okay. And that was how we continued.
That was in the first year?
That was in the first year, just around maybe just 1 year into the marriage. Okay. And that was how we continued. And before you know it, the second year. But as God will have it, towards the tail end of our second year in marriage, my husband was transferred from Lagos to Ogun State.
Okay, so you guys left that family environment, the change of the environment. It was even necessary at that point, because I see it like it's just God doing that. I feel that God sometimes knows that, okay, this journey, this is how long it's going to take. Definitely. And then He knows how much pressure we can bear. Yes. And then sometimes to make the pressure lesser, He could just put in some dynamism. Yes. So I feel that God just allowed you to change the environment at that time, knowing fully well that this journey was going to be a journey of 7 years.
I'm telling you, and it's going to take a lot from me if we didn't leave that particular environment,
Wow. So, but before that transfer came, were you praying? Was there something, or you were just believing God that you were going to get pregnant?
I was just in that first year, I was just believing God I was going to get pregnant. But towards the tail end of the second year, before my husband transfer eventually came, we went and we saw the doctor that we use normally. Okay. Our normal doctor, not a fertility doctor, not a gynecologist. We saw him and we just talked to him about everything, and he was like, okay, that should just go for an HSG examination, HSG test, somewhere in Surulere, pre-season. He said we should go there and have that. And I was even asking, because we're living in Lagbara, how Surulere? And he was like, that's one of the best around. his result is valid mostly everywhere. So he wanted us to have it. Then once and we got back and they said, I'm fine. And they checked my husband and they said he's okay too. So we're just like, okay, we are fine. So we just kept waiting. You understand?
Okay, but before I jump right into the next question, I just want to say, when did you now fully accept that, okay, this is our reality now? We are actually going to keep waiting and believing God that, okay, this will happen sooner or later. Did you get to that point of acceptance? Or it was always like, no, I'm going to have my children now, with all the anxiety, and then God just did it?
Okay, for me, I'm not this type. Anxiety didn't come in immediately for me.
Okay.
In fact, not even in the 3 years, not even in the 4 years.
Okay.
I'm this type that I've always had this belief. You know, I had this belief that I'm a child of God.
Okay.
I don't know, sincerely.
Your God story. I call it God story.
You understand? I had this belief that
the consciousness.
I had this consciousness that I'm married and I'll definitely have children.
It's just going to be at God's time.
But the timing
so
is what I don't know.
So you're saying that everybody should settle their relationship with God first.
Definitely.
Before you can tackle any other area.
Any other area. Your relationship with God is paramount, because it's in Him or through Him that you can find direction to every other part.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Wow.
So I, for one, I had that belief, as in I wasn't scared about anything. There wasn't need for me. I'm this kind of free person, as in if you know me right, then you will know in fact, you can't even see me and talk to me about it, because I'm not carrying that face. I'm not wearing that look.
Wow.
I've always been this. It will come. It's just the timing that I do not know. So I'm happy. And
that confidence came from your knowledge in Christ. It wasn't like you were just confident because you felt, everything is right. I didn't do abortions. Your confidence came from Christ, knowing that Jesus
He has paid the price. Whatever it is, I don't even want to know what the situation, whatever it is that will even come up. I don't even want to know. I just believe that the price has been paid for me. When it comes to children, I will have until I said I no longer want. I will have the number
you want.
I wanted. Beautiful. I was just confident in that time.
Okay, so in this part of the world, we are in this part of the world where, when challenges like this are coming up, fertility issues, not having children, the burden is more on the women. And then it gets to a point that a woman begins to blame. Like, I've seen situations, I've read stories where the women begin to blame themselves and say, oh, it's my body cannot carry children. That guilt, I don't know what to call it. I don't know if to call it a conscience guilt. I really don't know the right word. But they begin to feel less of themselves. They begin to doubt the capacity of their bodies. They begin to see themselves as the problem. What's your take on this?
Okay, I think first and foremost, for you not to see yourself as a problem, because definitely if you didn't go for checkups, you wouldn't know where the problem is coming from. You wouldn't know if there's actually any issue that is delaying your conception.
And you know that there are some homes where the husband is just confident that, okay, this issue is not coming from me. I don't think I need to be going for checkup. And it's just the woman going helter-skelter, running all around. No. So I want you to address that.
Okay. I will take it from the inception of the question where you ask, thinking as a lady that probably your body is the issue. Fine. Initially, you were trying and it wasn't forthcoming. So there must be a reason why it wasn't forthcoming. Now, the reason can be is either physical or spiritual. I said physical or spiritual because when you went for different kind of diagnosis and they told you are fine to carry a child and it's not forthcoming, probably you might say maybe the timing, and probably you might say it's spiritual. I don't know if you understand. Now, depending on your stand and your relationship with God, you understand, and your belief has to come in with this. Do you understand? So before you can be sure, and you don't have to doubt yourself or you don't have to blame your body, you have to be sure I have checked whatever it takes that can make it fit or deem it fit for me to be pregnant. I am menstruating properly. I am ovulating. My system, my body functions, my womb, my uterus, my organs, they are fine. Okay. And my husband's sperm is fine. That's I'm coming back to your question now. So for that, you don't have to blame yourself. You just have to keep at it.
And if it's the other way around, because there have been cases where, it's the woman who is actually having hormonal issues. I don't know what it is with women and hormonal issues, but I know that these things come up.
Yes.
So, and if it is now that, after the check, your body actually has issues, maybe your hormones and all that, how should they manage that information? How does a woman actually accept this information in a way that she doesn't have to feel less of herself?
Okay, one thing I realize in life is that either you like it or not, God is superior over each and every one of us.
Okay.
And there's something that makes God's superiority in our lives to be visible. Now it now comes to acceptance. You accepting whatever it is you are going through, the challenges, and mounting it to make sure you get out of it. Do you understand? The superiority of God, because that's my understanding now. If I'm wrong, I don't know. You understand? But these are one of the things that has built me up and has built my faith to where I am right now. I felt I can't be too comfortable in life that I will not be able to seek God. So there's something that will always make you to go and say, yes, God, this and this is happening. You understand? So now, if it's hormonal, if it's whatever, play your part.
Okay.
See a GP, see a gynecologist. You understand? If there's a prescription,
instead of just sitting at home and faking
no, you don't have to. You don't have to. You know, we all have our
there's always a place
part.
of, okay,
there's my part to play, there's the doctor's part, and there's God's part. You understand? Okay. So whatever it is that is a challenge, after when you are going to see a doctor and probably they ask you to run some tests, fix it. If the fund for the medication is not coming for you, can pray to God to provide the fund for you, because actually you want children in your mind, and God has a way of doing all of these things for us. Right. So fix that section, and while you are fixing it, you can now be telling God, I have done my own part. It's not left for you to do your part. You know, I have left the physical now to now believe and see you and say, okay, I have done my own part, God. And either you like it or not, our parts must always be played. It's just that sometimes as Christians we don't like we don't like the truth, and sometimes we don't like facing things the way they are. For every one scripture that God has promised, before the promise, there's always a part.
Right.
There's always a part of obedience that you must take.
Right.
So you cannot cheat that part of the obedience and you are declaring the blessing. It doesn't work that way.
You cannot cheat the part of the obedience and you are declaring the blessing. Oh my God.
So you have to wait, check whatever it is that is wrong, fix it, then you come back to God and said, okay, my part has been played, so I'm waiting on you for you to play your part. Then when it comes to the
spouses,
men,
exactly, because I didn't want you to skip that.
Yes, when it comes to the men, I think it also has to do with your relationship.
Well, I think that ego comes to play. You know, we're in Africa.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay. You know, in life, depending, and that's the reason why it's very good before you get married. There are so many things that needed to be talked about. Do you understand? You and your husband must be on the same page when seeking for the fruit of. It's not even when seeking for the fruit of the womb.
On everything,
on
every aspect, right.
On every aspect. Because even the Bible made us to understand that a house that is divided against itself cannot stand. So if you are divided against yourself in your opinion, so let me tell you something. It can even be as little as the sexes of your children. Once the man is saying, for my firstborn I want a son, and the woman is saying, for my firstborn I want a girl. These little things, because sometimes they say, they do not say before the angel there is an error. Do you understand? You don't know the angel that is passing at that particular time. There must be an agreement. You should come to this point of understanding that, fine, it might not be this woman. I don't know. It might not even be the both of us. It might be just something somewhere. Do you understand? So you must agree and be on the same page. There must be this support system, because either you like it or not, though mostly it weighs the women more than the men because of our emotions and how God built us from the beginning. You understand? Yeah. But she needs your support in everything. Even after when you have checked and it was discovered that she was the one that had some issues, she needs your support. You needed to be there for her to know that you are both into it together. Yes. That alone gives her the hope and the feelings that you can walk through this together. Wow. Do you understand? So it shouldn't be one-sided. The two of you must be together in it. You must agree in whatever it takes that your choices are, and you walk through it together, and before you know it, it becomes a testimony.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I just wanted to ask, you said I want to quote something you said. You said, okay, that because of your knowledge in Christ, then during those seasons of having to wait, you were not carrying it on your face, and so people could not. Nobody can even come to ask you questions. But that does not mean that some people will still come.
Definitely.
Okay, yeah. So those people will still want to, one way or the other, get to you. How did you manage like those pressures during those years? Like, people always say, no, you've not given birth, what's going on? People showing sympathy, because some people can even show sympathy, but the way they pass the message across can make you so emotional. You know, we women, we are wired emotionally. So how did you manage? I don't want to say pressure, because I feel that it takes my permission before somebody can pressure me.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but how did you manage that emotions that came with all of those follow-ups and what's going on, showing concern, you know, and stuffs like that?
Well, there's something about me, and for people that knows me well, they used to say that about me too. Probably most of the time, I think now it has to be personally, because you know, I don't know.
Personalities are different.
Personalities are different.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that most of the time I have a ready-made answer for whatever it is that you want to say to me. Sincerely. Sincerely, I have a ready-made answer for whatever it is.
So in essence, you can almost predict what people want to say.
So as soon as you are coming in with that, I already have an answer to tell you. Isn't I'll just say, don't worry, it's done already. I'll just say, oh, don't worry that. Hey, don't worry, we have a plan for that already. I don't know if you understand. I guide myself so much. I guided my emotions.
And it wasn't like you were being rude to people. No, you would still welcome them, but you would respond in a way that...
You know, one thing about life that I realized is that if you're a blunt person, people believe you are rude.
Yes, true.
If you are disciplined, if you're a disciplined person, people believe you are rude. Do you understand? So for you not giving them permission into your space, they believe you are rude. So I don't want to. If you are feeling rude, you are coming into my life. Do you know what I'm going through? Do you know the pain this is causing me? And do you know the pain what you're about to talk about will cause me the more?
No, but what about people that come as if they want to advise you? Like maybe they have clear intentions. They just want to be sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Maybe friends, people that are actually very close to you. How do you accept their messages? Okay. And then how do you differentiate between somebody that is actually showing concern and somebody that just wants to poke nose into what is going on?
Okay, so let me tell you something. Now, for people that genuinely want to show concern, you will know depending on your relationship
with them. Okay.
Somebody cannot just keep me in the dark for months, and all of a sudden you are coming up and the first thing you're asking me is that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you are close to me too much, you should know.
Yeah. Okay.
What I am doing for this, because you don't even have to ask me. If the connection as friends, as relatives,
we'll always be talking about
we will talk about it because this is me. Okay. This is what I'm going through at this point. Do you understand?
Right.
So knowingly or unknowingly, we'll dive into it and we'll talk about it. But you know, some of them just come from the blues and they just want to feel the one.
And I think it's more with the elderly people. I don't know. I just feel that these elderly people have a way of. It could be in church, it could be in the market, it could be anywhere.
Definitely.
Why are they always like that? And then how did you handle them in a way that it didn't show that you were trying to be disrespectful?
Okay, fine. Just like you said, mostly elderly people, yes, and most of them. See. I want to get something straight. Some of them, they actually know what they are doing. And as a matter of fact, some of them did it to me in church. Some of them actually wanted to get to you. No, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. God. Some of them actually really want to get to your emotion. So that's the reason why I said most of the time as a woman, when you are waiting, you should build yourself to a particular point that they don't even get your emotion. I don't know. Because whatever you accept is what comes in.
Right.
What you don't accept, it will not allow you to come in.
Right.
Do you understand? So when they come like that, I know some of them will say, Kile Indro Day. I'm sorry.
I get that.
Yoruba language, they'll be like,
what are you waiting
what are you still waiting for? Is it not yet time? Oh, you are not allowing your husband and stuff like that. I'll be like, why not? We are allowing it. Or I'll just tell them, just tell God on my behalf.
A punchline.
I'll just tell them, mommy,
tell
please.
God on my behalf.
Mommy, please. Just keep reminding God on my behalf. I am.
Oh my God.
In fact, right now, I am waiting as it is right now. If it comes now, what am I waiting for? So please, just be reminding God on my behalf. Just please be reminding God. Anytime you just remind God on my behalf. Say, God, look at this girl. Look at this son of mine, please.
I think that's beautiful. Okay, Ma, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you just outline to us some treatment options that you feel that are very effective? Because I don't know the treatment options you could tell us if you want to, but then what are the treatment options that you know that are trustworthy, that are good, that people can actually embrace? Because we were having this conversation before we started shooting. We were talking about surrogacy, IVF. I want you to just flow, elaborate, tell us. What are the treatment options? Are they good? Are they legal? Are they things people can opt for? Do you think that God can even direct people in that light? Surrogacy, IVF, whatever. So what are the treatment options?
Okay, now I want you to know and believe, if you are a TTC person, I want you to know and believe that it's only God that is permanent. Every other treatment options you have might fail. Do you understand? So when you have that baseline that this is God and it's only God that can do this thing for you. And see, when it comes to children, when it comes to childbirth, when it comes to conception, when it comes to birthing, see, it's a spiritual thing. Now, I'm not talking about, when I say spiritual, I'm not saying maybe probably somebody somewhere that's not making you to get pregnant. But, the process alone, because nobody can fathom it. See, forget it. Even the doctors, even the gynecologists. You see, it's only God. So, let God, one, be the basis of whatever it takes treatment that you're thinking or you want to opt for. Do you understand? And secondly, see, at this point now, it's not when somebody will even talk to you about Christ. At this point, you should just know that Christ is the solution. He's the only one that can do it for you, and he's the only one that freely gives. I'm not saying you can't get in some other quarters, because some people does that anyway. But don't forget that it's only God that gives without repentance. And the blessings of the Lord makes rich, and he added no sorrow. Though it might not have happened to us, maybe we don't have close people that have done it and going through the consequences, but we must have seen it from others that went through the other means of getting it and they are facing the consequences. So what am I trying to say? Firstly is that you make your basis be on God. Then secondly, you see, God is a prayer answering God, just like he's a question answering God. When you ask questions concerning some particular areas of your life and you desire answer truly to, God will give you answers. So because I've also heard about IVF that failed. In fact, I don't know the person personally, but I saw a testimony recently of somebody that had 13 IVF. That failed. And now, the emotional. Okay, I have a friend, a friend that talked to me about her journey into, though she has a child now, that talked to me about her journey. She told me about the kind of emotion, the torture that process takes you to.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, you understand? So for somebody to now have 13. So what am I trying to say? None of them is sure. Okay. God is sure. Okay. So once you now know that God is sure and it's only God that can do it for you, you can now come through God and say, Father, what are you saying? Okay. Concerning this, what are you saying?
What would you have me do?
Me to do? How do I go about it? Do you want me to wait? I should just still wait on you, and you will come through for me when? That answer of when too.
I think I asked you that thing sometime, and I said, okay, sometimes, because we all have times we've been through waiting. Yes. We are always, with God, it's like waiting never ends. By the time you're through with one season, another season comes, you're waiting for God to do, So I asked you sometime, and you said God can even show you when.
Yes, He can. Definitely, He can. So when it comes to surrogacy, right now, presently in Nigeria, the law of Nigeria is silent when it comes to surrogacy. It's not saying it's acceptable, and it's not saying it's not acceptable. Okay. So that means someone can have surrogacy and nothing is tying you down. Okay. And I think I've seen, though I don't have a personal relationship with them, I only hear, and I've seen some that did recently, and it worked for them. You understand? I don't think it's a bad option. Okay. If you have gone to see the doctors, and you need to understand that your body, you cannot carry the weight of birthing, but you can release some hormones, some of your eggs. And your husband, and you can come together through a third party to have a child. He's still your child.
That's still subject to what you feel God wants you to do.
Yes.
Because we're still going to chatter some tables, because there's this thing that is in town now, cryptic pregnancy, but I don't want us to go into that now. So I want you to finish outlining the treatment options. We talk about surrogacy. What other?
Then when it comes to IVF too, I don't know if you have the fund, because it's very, very expensive. It's very expensive, and it's not just a treatment that you can do. Though in Nigeria, thank God, some hospitals you can just walk in freely. But in this Western world, it takes months, it takes years for them to be able to queue and to get to that point. If you have the fund and you think you can no longer wait, because some other thing that happened to TTCs is that they are not patient. I'm sorry, because I've been through it before. I am not saying it because I just want to.
Was there a time you opted for all of this, or you?
Sincerely, I did not.